Hello, Trogdor here again with a Redstone tutorial, and this is going to be how to build my advanced Redstone lock. Well, version 2 at least. Version 1 was about twice the size. It would have came out to about here for the same number of digits. And, well, I made this a lot better. So let me demonstrate it for you guys. The code is 93125. So just to prove that 5 alone wouldn't do it, so this isn't a gimmick or anything. 5 doesn't do anything. And if we press those numbers in a different order, it's still not going to work. That light over there will turn on when the lock gets activated or deactivated, should I say. Okay, so let's press in the correct order, which is 93125. And just like that, the light came on. Now, any button here, well, any button except for the 5 will reset it. That's just a little problem with this design. It can be fixed with an extra AND gate at the end of this, but meh. I don't worry about it because I normally put a manual reset on my things. But okay, well, let's kick on with the tutorial then. Again, this is going to be at a fairly brisk pace, and I may or may not do cuts. I don't know yet. Um, but if you need to, just pause the video and copy what I'm doing. But this is going to be long as it is, so. Um, Start off by making a 3x3 little wall, and this will be your input pad. Um, put buttons on each of those, and then go to the back. And on the back of each of those blocks, you're going to want to put a redstone torch. This is how we're going to get our signal through. We're going to have to use some very interesting placement of blocks and stuff to separate these lines into a straight um, orderly fashion, so make use of it. So for these bottom ones, the middle torch right under that, you're going to dig down one, and then you're going to go off to the right and dig down two. And then this is for the middle torches line, and that's so you can put redstone here, and this won't interact with that. Now for these two, we're just going to go straight ahead in lines like that. We're going to finish these two, this one, and this one, and the middle one right now. So for the middle one, we're going to place redstone dust here, but they connect, so we're going to have to cut those off with blocks. For the middle one, you're going to just come out straight and into a block, and this is the end of our input line. Each one of these will go to a block with a torch, and that's where they will end up being. And that's the whole point of this display, right? Or this input line is yeah. I don't know where I was going with that. Okay. Anyways, just follow those out to blocks and torches, and that would be this one, and this one, and this one all connected already. Now we're going to do the bottom middle and the top middle buttons. And we already started the bottom middle. Basically, you come out, and since you know where this is going to be, it's going to be right here. You're going to want to dig down 2 on this path until you get to that block, and then you come up 1 and dig down 1, and then you just connect your redstone line all the way to that. Put a redstone torch here, and that's that one done. Now for the top one, and we might as well just put blocks on the top 3 torches. We're going to use those, but put a torch on the back of that block, on the side of this one, and on the side of this one, and we'll be using the side ones here in a minute once we hook those up. And now come out from this torch right here, down 1 and over 1. This block's not needed. Let's see. And then since these are off, we're going to have to invert them again, so all these will end up being off in the final part. So we're going to want a torch there, redstone dust there, block there, dust there, block there, and then just follow that dust up and the torch is off. So that was the bottom middle one and top middle one done. Now we got just the middle and the top sides to do, so let's go ahead and do that. We'll do this one first. So from here, you want to put a block there. You can delete that one and follow 2 more blocks past that just to get past that line. Now you just take your line and you see how that connects. You don't want that connected. You're going to have to block that off with a block, and same thing with that one. Might as well get that done now. But that way the line stays separate, and then just follow that through. Block there, redstone torch. Do the same thing over here, except for you don't need the 3 blocks. That's just so you could get over the bottom middle line. So just follow this over. And block there, redstone torch. Now we just need to do the top side buttons. So these aren't too hard. Start on this side, go out 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, 4. And then you go down 1, over 1, down 1. And then these ones are the same thing as the top middle one. We have to invert it again. So we'll put a torch there, redstone dust here, here, and then up through here, block, and redstone torch. And now we just need to do the last one. So you go block there, block there. This one you don't need to have it as long because we don't have that extra long part right here. So just 2 blocks this time, and then over 3, down 1, and then same thing, redstone torch to invert it, and into a block. And that's the input panel done. Now we go into the decoder, or parts of it at least. We're not going to finish the whole thing because we have to hook that up to the NOR latches anyways, but we'll get the basic structure done. So from these torches, put a block on top of each of them. If I wasn't misplacing blocks all day. And put a block right there and follow that line all the way down. we're going to dig a ditch. So you come up to this block, right up against it, down one, then go over one, and then dig down another one. And you're going to dig these 2 blocks down in front of all the torches until you get to the last one. And this is going to be the line that will set our NOR latches. That up there is actually part of the decoder. This is just a line that will send the data through. Yeah. So, yep, you just come up right to that torch, and that's your ditch. Now for the next decoder, and each of these lines is going to be for a separate digit. So this will be for my 9 digit, as in that example. We're going to use the same code. So this will be 9, and then this next one will be the 3. And this is going to be a little bit different because the way I had this is I would, here, just go ahead and place blocks in this. So redstone dust in front of the torches, and then blocks in front of the redstone dust. And then torches on that. And this is going to be the start of our next line. But the way I was doing it is I had all the lines the same. And in order to do that, I would have had to continue like that, which starting their next line here as opposed to here, it makes it a lot more bulky. So I instead got a little bit creative, and I decided we'll just use the line as it is and invert the signal and pretty much just process all of that out on these. So for this top part up here, by the way, is going to be the reset line, or the hookup to the reset line. So in order for that to work out, because on these ones we'll have redstone dust going like that on these blocks, but on these ones, since they're powered, you don't want the redstone dust there. So what we're going to do on these ones instead, we're going to put redstone torches on the back of them. And as you can see, we don't have those on these ones. But these will we'll put our signal through just fine. And then we're going to get our line again. Like so. And that's the only 2 types of lines you're going to have. It's going to be in a pattern. The next one's going to be this type. The one after that's going to be this type again. And that's just so I could make it smaller. No. Same thing though. Dig your ditch. One of these days they will get rid of auto jump and I will be happy. But yep, just dig your ditch like you did on the last one, and it's important to have this little step because we're going to be taking lines from there anyways. But just like the last one, you put redstone dust, and as you can see, this stuff is powered, whereas the ones we placed over here weren't, so it's inverted, and that's why we're just going to switch between our 2 types of lines. This will work out all at the end, and I'm pretty proud of myself, honestly. Limited resources with the redstone is actually a fun challenge. I'm a mainly console redstoner, but I decided to start doing this because this is a little bit tougher. Of course, we don't have pistons yet, so a lot of the stuff's not going to be too advanced yet, but Anyways, you just continue on doing the same thing as the other one. Pretty much just do it a few times. Um, yeah, but basically just keep on doing that. And so on. Just for as many digits as you want. I'm doing the 5-digit one just like I did over there. Um, so yeah, I'll cut here and I will jump to when I have these done and I'll show you the next step. Okay, we're back. And we got our lines in for each digit. So this is going to be our 9, 3, 1, 2, and 5. Again, make sure you have the separate designs on every other one. And that's important because, yeah, the other design doesn't work if it's inverted. And yeah. So from here, we're going to construct our NOR latches and AND gates into an array. So to do that, we're going to skip this one for a second just so we can line up our first NOR latch because I like them in the same position. Because AND gates come first and the first one doesn't get an AND gate because it's the first input. But here is our AND gate design. And I'll just construct this one to show you what it looks like. And here's our output torch. This is one input and this is another input. That's our AND gate. And that will run into our NOR latch. So from the torch you go over a couple blocks and then put that here. Actually, I guess from the torch, because the torch takes up a block, it's over one block and then over another and place another block there. Then same thing over up to, delete that one and put one there. Take a half slab, place it there, and this, after we place our redstone dust, oh, we need a dust there, torch, and another torch, is our latch. And if you watched my last video, I covered what these, or my last tutorial, I covered what these do. Basically, they have inputs, one sets it, and the other one resets, and they don't do anything other than that. But it's essentially a memory cell. Um, it holds 1 bit of data, and yeah. And we're going to be using these AND gates to make sure that the last digit was pressed. So when the output from the last NOR latch will be run into one of these inputs. So I'll show you how that works here in a second. Oh, forgot a piece of redstone dust there. And that's because the output needs to be hooked up to the input of this NOR latch. So now we can put the other NOR latch right here. And yeah. Basically, this first line is the only one that's different in this part. So that's just going to be the NOR latch. And basically, you're going to copy this NOR latch and AND gate configuration for each of these 3 lines. And I'm going to cut again because I'm trying to make this video short for you guys. So I'll cut when we do that and I'll show you how to hook them up after that. Okay, we're back. So once you get all the NOR latches and gates set up, you have to hook them up in a specific way. So basically the line down there that's not there yet, we'll get to that in a minute, will come up straight into this NOR latch, and it will flip it once that number, which is 9 in this case, is well, actually it's not even set yet. We haven't programmed it to recognize any numbers yet, but I'll show you how to do that after we get these set up. But it comes in here and it will flip it. And when it does, this line will be on. And what we want this line to do is to power this input of this AND gate, so that the next one, when you press the next number, this torch comes off. And with the AND gate, both torches have to be off for this output torch right here to turn on. So if the last number wasn't flipped, or this last NOR latch wasn't flipped, pressing this number, the second number, wouldn't do anything, because this would come off, but this one would still be on powering that torch. So that second NOR latch wouldn't flip. So that's how we're going to do that. So we're going to hook up that line directly into that. And we're going to do that for each of these. I'll show you the second one. Actually, I'll just do all these on screen. They're not that bad. What I like to do is get the line scaffolding made first, and then I'll put all the redstone dust right on at once. So, and that is your NOR latch array done. Now we have to finish the decoder, and that's to basically encode. Actually, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm guessing to encode our code into the decoder so it will recognize it. So what you do is say, well, in this example, we're going to use my same code. We're going to use 9. So we would find the 9. The 9's right there. And we find the line that goes to that 9. And you would just look back here and find the torch and trail that. But since I've been working with this for a while, I know that for a fact it's this line right here. So we would go to the first decoder line, and we would, in line with the 9, we would delete that. Now, when you press 9, it won't set off the reset, because again, this top part is going to be our reset. It will run into the resets of the NOR latches. And since there's no block there, we're not going to have redstone dust there. It's just going, I guess technically you don't have to get rid of the block, but I like to signify it. I normally do this to let it be seen a little bit easier. But we'll do that for each of our numbers. So it's going to be 9, 3, 1, 2, 5. So we follow the 3, which is this furthest one, to our second line. Again, delete it. And these ones are the ones with the torches on back, so if you're in survival, remember to collect your torch again. But again, delete the block above the torch and put a block directly below it. Just like that. And then we do the same thing. So number 1, 1 is this top corner, closest one to that. So 1, 2, 3, that's our third digit. Delete that block, put a block directly underneath it. 2 is our top middle, which isn't in the middle, guys. I made that mistake earlier. I was like, oh, top middle, it must be in the middle. And I was pressing the button for like forever, and I couldn't figure out what was wrong with it, and I just traced it wrong. So make sure you're tracing where these lines are coming from right. So the top middle comes in from over here. It's the third line. If you're looking at the button panel, it's the third line from the right. So right here, we'll go into the fourth and delete that black. Put black directly underneath it. And again, collect your torch if you're in survival. And 5. 5 is the absolute middle one, and that's the easiest one to find. And there you go. Now it's encoded. We still have to run the lines from it, but I will be back and I will show you how to do that in a second. Okay, now to hook all this up. We'll hook up the set lines first, because might as well. So from down here, each of these has a block underneath it, the ones that you want to be your code. You're going to put a redstone dust right on top of it, and that's so it can convey the signal down. And for this one, we will need a repeat in the signal because it's pretty far. So what I like to do is come down, make that a stair step. So here you go. This is the line right here. So you put a torch there, and actually, oops, that's right. Delete that. Put dust there, and we're gonna actually put a torch here. And that will be how we'll repeat our signal. And you just move that all the way like that, right up to this block. And that's how you do that. Now for these ones that are already on, if we have to repeat the signal, we only use one torch, and we will have to repeat the signal on this one. But instead of putting like a torch there and then putting another to repeat the signal, like I said, you're only going to need to use one torch. You just pull this line until it runs out, or until you get to the edge of this thing, which you do. So these two can actually go. Torch, dust, 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 right on up to your AND gate this time. And yeah, you just basically have to do that to each of these. If you number is this? If you use number 1, which is this far side over here, it's easy. You just go right up to it. You don't need to repeat the signal, and I actually don't think on any of these you really do. This one you do have to invert anyways. But again, you just go redstone dust. So we're gonna have dust there. Torch will go right here. And put that right into there. And this one, I believe, is just fine going straight in. Like so. So those are the set lines. That's how you do that. Now to do the reset lines. I can tell you, since the signal needs to be able to come from this block all the way down, it's not long, or it's too long. You're going to have to use a repeater. And the perfect place to put it in this build, at least, is if you go to the input lines and count over 3 of them. So 1, 2, 3, and use this third one as a reference. Put your first block there, go over to the left one, and that's where the first repeater will be. In line with this repeater, the lines that are separate, that are different from these ones, you're going to want repeaters on them too, but instead of putting them there, you're going to build up and put them right there. So these ones will go here, and then the these ones will go here. So one there, one there, and one there. Might as well put the torches on them because we're going to need them. And redstone dust on top of those. Now to hook them up. With the first line, you put redstone dust on top of these blocks. And then you put them on top of the line too. And obviously where you don't have blocks you can't put them, so we don't have to worry about accidentally putting them in there. And that's why I delete those blocks instead of just not putting dust there. It's easier. For everything before the repeater, that's what you do on these lines. After the repeater, or starting at the repeater, you kind of have to put these blocks right here because you can't just pull the signal up. You have to go around for those ones. So that's how you do that line. These ones are, of course, a little bit different. So instead of putting redstone dust on the block, you don't want to do that at all. Because if you do that, your line will just be on. And you don't want it on. So just put redstone dust straight across here till you get to this block that's just before your repeater. You're going to want to just delete that block. Go over one and into your repeater and then put redstone dust there. And that's how you do everything before the repeater. And after the repeater, these ones are pretty easy. You just go right across. And as you can see, that redstone dust interferes, so you have to put a full block there. So, well, actually, I might as well just show you these because there's going to be some challenges. You might have to get creative depending on what your digit is, because I don't know. It's just a little bit messy up here. I haven't figured out a great way to do it for every number exactly the same way. So, but again, you just keep on. So on your third line, it would be just like your first line and your fifth line. Except, since my third line has 1 as the digit, do not put a block in front. Because you'll accidentally put redstone dust on it, and you don't want it resetting when you press the 1. So what I do is I just go over 1 block and up. Because if you didn't notice, this block right here wasn't here. This line is going to be exactly like number 2. Let's go across, delete this. Blocks, redstone dust, redstone dust. Full block right there to cut off that signal. And that's that one done. And then you do this one just like the other ones. And again, put these 2 blocks here. Redstone dust. Like so. And that's the line for the top of the decoder. Now we just need to hook up our decoder for the reset from the decoder, reset line from the decoder to our NOR latch array. And that can be accomplished by going up 1 block like this, out 1, then going up another one like that. So basically 2 and 2. And then on this, you go up, over, like that. So it's 1 block below this. Then you go inward, and then just like that. So it looks like this. And you're going to do that to all of them. Then you're going to put a torch here, torch here, torch here, and a torch here. And that's because we need 4 more ticks of delay after it leaves this line. And that's so it gives it enough time to set before it resets all the ones before it, and it's kind of important. Redstone dust on all this, like that. And that's going to be it for the reset line. So you do it for all of them. Same thing for all of them, and I'll go through one more and to show you. So that, over and up, over, and then off of this block, place a block right on top of the redstone dust so it raises it up one, and then you come in one. Then you delete the one that's on top of the dust, and then you come in this way. And then you just finish the line like that. Redstone torch on those, redstone torch, and redstone torch. And dust, 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 and dust. And you do that for the rest of them. And I will be back once I do that. I'm going to just cut. Okay, I'm back. And once you are done doing that and hooking up the reset lines, the build is complete. This is fully functioning, and you take your input off of either this block or this block, and I like using this block because it can wrap around a little bit easier. And all you have to do is invert it, invert the signal, which I like doing after this power signal is about to run out, and that's so you create the shortest amount of delay. I believe that's off. Since that's off, you put a block, and see, now it's inverted. Now it's off when that's on. So when these go in sequence, and I'll show you how that works. But basically, when you put in your password, this will switch from on to off, which will turn this on. And then you just continue on your merry way. And I just like putting a couple of those to show that it works. So 9, and as you can see, where these are all on, this one just turned off. So we'll go and I'll show you those as we go. 3, see, and since we press 3, this one resets, but since this one was on for a second, this one got to turn off. Or since this, I should be talking right here because this is actually the part that turns on and off in this circumstance, but these will turn off in sequence as we press the numbers, and when we press 5, that one will turn off. So 3, 1, so it will be the third one, 2, fourth one, and this one we don't really have to go check because our light will turn on. And ta-da, the light turns on. Happy day, it worked. Pretty much any button on this except for the 5 will reset it, and you can fix that. It's just not even worth fixing. It's not a big problem. And 9 will uh, reset it, as you can see, but it also inputs the 9 for the code, so you don't have to re-input that. So be careful resetting it with the dial pad. Normally I just hook up a manual reset right to each of these lines. So when you press it, it just automatically resets them all, and that's how you reactivate your lock. It's just a little bit more secure, I guess. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section, and I will try to answer any questions that are thrown my way. Yeah, if you liked the video, please hit the like button, and if you really liked the video, subscribe. And future updates, when we get the extra redstone stuff, I can assure you I know how to use that stuff, and I will be hopefully bringing some decent content to you guys. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.